numbers side more than they could ever have expected from Barack Obama. You started with 1.8 million for amnesty. Why would you start with 1.8 million? Why would you start with people who never even applied for DACA? 1 million people over the 700,000 to 800,000 who never even applied for it. Why would you do that? And it's going to be spun that this is absolute genius. No, it's not. This is absolutely pathetic.
There's our very own Professor Emeritus here at Conservative Review, Mark Levin, calling out President Trump on his radio show. Actually, listen to that live on Thursday night on my way to go speak to some patriots here in the state of Iowa who are not necessarily too happy with this mass amnesty proposal. And Levin says, no 4D chess here. This is pathetic. Let's discuss on our roundtable today. Chris Pandolfo joins us from Conservative Review. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
So, Chris, what do you think? You agree with the great one or not? What say you?
Yeah, the deal is crap. Now, President Trump, over the weekend, he's tweeting that this was just an effort to show that the Democrats are so extreme on this position that they'll take anything. But I don't really buy that.
One of us predicted on Friday that was going to happen. You guys remember that?
You did?
Yeah. He's cute, by the way. I've heard that dude is hot. Just a rumor, though. Can't confirm it. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so I don't really buy that because Republican leadership just kind of latched onto the deal, and lots of Republican senators latched onto the deal, and this is the thing that they wanted. This is great for people like Lindsey Graham, who wanted amnesty for years. But, of course, it's not good enough for Chuck Schumer. It's not good enough for the Democrats. They're calling it racist. They're calling it xenophobic. And I have to be honest, when President Trump announced the deal, I got really mad that Republicans were caving on amnesty, and not even so much amnesty. The issue is the citizenship for these illegal immigrants. Citizenship is something that's supposed to mean something. It's supposed to, you have to earn it, right? And the fact that we're just going to give it away to nearly 2 million people, and maybe more, because the chain migration isn't getting rid of. They still keep it for the nuclear family, for mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, right? So potentially millions and millions of illegal immigrants could have a pathway to becoming citizens and then bringing their family over here to become citizens. And the Democrats are looking at this and they're turning their noses up on it and they're saying, oh, you're a xenophobe, you're a racist, stop using Dreamers as DACA gates. And I have to tell you, I got much more mad at the Democrats for doing that than Trump for selling us out. Because it's also meaningless, Steve. We can't do anything to appease these people. They're nuts. They're open borders zealots. And it just, we have to cut this crap out. We have to ditch this deal, go back to square one, say border security or the highway. Yeah, the Republicans are in the majority. President Trump was elected on a campaign of tougher border security and no amnesty. It's time for Republicans to live up to those campaign promises, or what's the point of electing them in the first place?
Todd, for everything Chris just pointed out about the Democrats' reaction to this is why I was asking you guys the question on Friday during the day screw. Is it possible? I know, but I agree with Mark. This was never four-dimensional chess. And like I said on Friday, you can tell it was not four-dimensional chess because Republicans were blindsided by this. They had no idea this was coming. They were not all on message like they were on the shutdown, for example, where clearly they were all part of the same team. This was not a lure to bait Democrats into going even further left in order to say, see, later on, this is actually, I suggested to Rubio 5 years ago, this is how he could have gotten out of the Gang of Eight fiasco. Just simply say, you know what, I did my best to work with these people for 6 months, and all they did was trash Heritage Foundation and everybody else. I'm out, walk away. Then he would essentially repair all the damage and look like a hero. He pointed out how liberal all these guys are and recover most favored nation status with the base. Rubio just is too invested in this issue and probably not shameless enough to do that. Trump is. Trump absolutely is shameless enough to do this, which is why I asked you guys on Friday that he could turn this to his advantage once he learns again. Remember, he was going to work with Chuck and Nancy last spring and summer. Remember that? And that blew up in his face. There is no working with these people. They keep driving him to the right, not because he's playing four-dimensional chess, because they will not work with him on anything, even when he gives them more than what they previously asked for.
Yeah, but he needs to see that over and over again. It's definitely not four-dimensional chess. It's just sometimes Trump just being a jerk. We have to bake that into the cake and realize that he's going to the same place as somebody else might use four-dimensional chess. I mean, listen, this is the Joker in The Dark Knight here, snapping the pool cue in half. We're going to have tryouts, guys. Aggressive expansion. And he wants to see how both sides
They never
freak
try out, but they never try out. The Democrats are like, yeah, we're not playing.
He wants to see how both sides freak out, so then he can play puppeteer with both sides. And like you talked to the GOP's blindsided. You know what? If you're blindsided by this by now, GOP, whoever you are, good grief, retire, grow up. He's not you. You're not conservative. Why are any of you blindsided about anything? You're all frauds. You should all get each other by now, okay?
Here,
Dang it, Todd. How am I supposed to follow up that? This is the issue, as we have discussed before. This is the issue that launched Trump, immigration. And if, as Chris was saying as well, if you're in control of both houses of Congress and the executive branch as well, you should be able to get something objectively good done. Again, this could be used as a bargaining, not a bargaining chip, but as a campaign message for 2018. But you should be able to get something objectively good done. But there are too many people on both sides of the aisle who really don't have the vested interests of people who are here legally and people who were born here at heart. There are that's just a reality. Unfortunately, it's baked into the cake that there are just too many people who are getting too many checks from the K Street sugar daddies who want cheap labor, and there are too many Democrats still who just want all of the votes that immigration and amnesty will give them. So this is I don't know where they can turn at this point, and you've got a mercurial guy in the White House as well. It would be nice if something could actually get done that's objectively good, but I just don't know. There's just the corruption overall, I think, is too much. I don't have much hope for anything good coming out of this Congress.
And Aaron makes a key point, too, because the Republicans, they don't have 60 votes, right? So they can't get the deal that every conservative wants them to get. So they're going to have to compromise somewhere. But they don't have to. They can take this case to the American people with the midterms come up and say, hey, we've got 10 Democrats in red states that Donald Trump, Mr. No Amnesty, tough border security, I'm going to build the wall, Donald Trump won in 2016. 10 Democrats in these states are up for election in 2018. You want the wall? You want to take care of people who are here but not give them citizenship? You want a deal that conservatives can get behind? We're going to give it to you, but you got to give us more seats in the Senate first. They could take that tactic. That's what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats think they're going to blow out the Republicans in the congressional midterms. They think they're going to take the House back. They think they're going to steal the majority back with 2 or 3 Senate seats. And so that's why they're turning their noses up at any deal that President Trump comes up with. He can't do anything this entire year. Forget just this immigration deal. For the rest of the year, there's not going to be a single deal he can offer them that they're going to take because they think they're going to take Congress back in 2018.
Agreed.
So
which is
no
why
point to make concessions to them right now.
Agreed.
There's none.
Which is why if we're going to play politics, let's go all the way with it.
Yeah.
And here's what I would do. If I worked in the Trump White House right now, here's what I would suggest to the president. I'd go back to something before I came to Conservative Review when I was writing for outlets like Town Hall. I wrote a column back in 2013. And here's what I would suggest the president do. Offer Democrats everything they want, with 2 exceptions. We build a wall, and everybody that is granted a path to citizenship is never allowed to vote in America. They are like a convicted felon. You lose your voting rights. We will grant you amnesty if you've committed no other crime. You get to stay, but you never get to vote, period. Put that on the table. Give them everything they want. Other than that, if we're gonna now reverse engineer this, if that's Trump's game because he stepped on a rake, wasn't even a banana peel, dude stepped on a rake, bro. Okay, so if we're gonna step on a rake and then try to reverse engineer it to our cultish little social media bots that I planned on doing this all along, all right, then let's go all the way with it, gentlemen. Offer Democrats in a major speech everything they want except no one gets to vote ever, and we get a wall. And then roll tape and watch what happens and show they don't care about these people. Yep. They just want a voter drive. So if we're going to play politics, Todd, by golly, let's play it then. And let's play to win. If we're going to play risk, then play. If we're going to do high-stakes poker like Trump's done on Madison Avenue many times in the past, then by golly, go all in and let's make them show their cards.
And you're not suggesting anything novel. I mean, Harry Truman ultimately won re-election when he was down because he coined do-nothing Congress, because he kept putting forward, we're going to be aggressive, we're going to keep putting legislation that I know they're just going to keep saying no, 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 no to, and it rallied people. And you are using the exact same philosophy that I use all the time on the pro-life movement. I said, fine, you give me all the other abortions and I'll give you rape, incest, and health of mother, even though we don't believe that, because they're never going to take that deal.
Right.
We need to be smarter than these fools. They're not really good at this. We're just cowards.
Aaron?
Yeah, that's again what Todd said. That they're just. What I want to bring up the rule of establishment Republicans, and I know a couple of times, or at least once last week, you brought up about the notion that maybe we need to thank Mitch McConnell and the Republican establishment's two primary rules are: one, screw conservatives, and two, see Rule 1. They're really good at that, but they're really terrible at playing the game of politics. The Democrats, on the other hand, they know how to play, although they overextend their hand far too often. If we had people capable of carrying forth a message that we saw, a unified message that we saw during the government shutdown from this issue, then I think I think you could see a cataclysmic almost shift in how things are done as far as the immigration debate goes in Washington. But even if we did that, even if Trump proposed that, I have absolutely what you just talked about, Steve. If he proposed that, say at the State of the Union tomorrow night, I have zero confidence that that the vast majority of Republicans would even try to stay on the same page. I think what we saw during the shutdown, until I'm proven wrong, I think what we saw during the shutdown was a fluke as far as everybody being on the same page.
Chris, you get the last word.
There's nothing I disagree with right there. I think that's exactly right. And, if Trump wants to get serious with the Congress, if he wants to make the case that Republicans should be in government in 2018, because that's what we're really talking about here, because the rest of the year is basically over. Everybody is shifting into election mode right now. You're going to see primaries start heating up. You're going to see CR coverage be more election-focused going forward, at least what I'm trying to do here. And if you're going to make a case to the American people that the last 2 years we've gotten some pretty good things done with tax reform, with repealing the Obamacare individual mandate, and we need to do more, and we need to be empowered to do more, so you're going to have to start making that case. And you don't make that case by giving up what you were elected to do in the first place to the Democrats. You do that by, President Trump, he's caught a break here. In other words, he has exposed the Democrats as total nuts on this issue and as total incompetence to the government. And the Democrats are helping, in Trump's case, by attacking tax reform the way they're doing. So it's going to be really hard to screw up your messaging in 2018. And the State of the Union address is a great place to start, really bashing the Democrats and refusing to concede any more ground.
Thank you, Chris, for joining us here on the Roundtable here on CRTV.
Thanks, man.